So I know not everyone is the same. So when I say customers are annoying, what I really mean is like 1/5 of customers are annoying. The other like 80% are just people who get their food, they leave. That's literally 90% or 80% of my job. So when I mean customers that are annoying, I really just means the one that I remember. Because if you remember something, it's either it was a really good experience or a really bad experience. So with that being said, the first guy was definitely mentally challenged, and that's not what makes him annoying. I swear that's not what makes him annoying. It's just what he would do. So he was like he would very regularly come in. I want to say like maybe once to twice a week when this story happened. He would come in, he would sit in the lobby, and then he would try to order food. And I mean very emphasis on tried, because on the first time I met him, he came to my front counter. We were in the middle of a rush, and he tells me, "Can I get a number two with cheese? Nothing on it." And I take his order. He wants the meal. So it comes out to be like $11 or something cents, whatever. And I tell him that, and he looks at me for like a solid 3 seconds, and then he just says, "I don't have any money." And then I says, "Oh, well, okay. Do you have like any way to pay?" And he's like, "No." And I didn't know what to tell him. I didn't have any money on me either because I hadn't got my paycheck yet, and I mean I didn't have any money like at all. So I just told him like, "Well, man, I can't help you. I'm sorry." And he looks at me for like another 3 seconds and then just says, "Okay." And then he goes back to his table and he sits there. And I already took his order and I already rung his order up. So I was just on the screen where, it just has it just has the order and everything on it with the total. And I didn't know how to change it. I did not know how to get out of this screen at the time. I know how to now, and it's pretty easy. But trust me, I have to tell people how to do this constantly, like especially the new hires, and it takes them like a week to actually understand how it works, because it's kind of like it's a lot of buttons to remember. So he come eventually. My manager does help me. The line got a little bit longer in the time it took for me to get the order off. Um, and that was the first time. The next few times I would see him, he would just be in the lobby and he would do his thing. Usually he would try to talk to the managers. He tried fist bumping everyone, like everyone who walked in. But on one of the days he was doing this, I was just cleaning my station because it was a really slow day. And this guy and his wife walk in, and the guy was definitely about to order. He was walking to the counter until the guy fist bumps him, and so they start having like a little friendly conversation. Like, "Hey, how you doing?" And this guy also had a tendency, whenever you ask him how he's doing, instead of just saying, "Oh, I'm okay," he always said, "Not good. I'm not doing good." So you're obviously gonna ask, like, "Oh, what's wrong?" Because that's basic human empathy. It's either that or "I'm sorry about that." And this guy decided to be like, "Oh, what's wrong?" So then the guy just starts saying, "I don't have any money, and I'm so hungry," and this and that. And at first, the guy tells him, like, "I don't have any money. I can't help you. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just buying food for my family." And they just continue to talk. Mind you, this guy hasn't even ordered yet. And he's just every time he tries to be like, "Okay, I'm gonna go order," the guy just tells him like, "Oh, wait, wait, wait," like trying to get him to wanna buy him food. So then I'm cleaning the drink station. I'm just waiting for this guy also to just go so I can go to front counter and take his order. And as I'm cleaning the drink station, all I can hear him say is, "Oh my God, fine." And then he walks to my front counter. I run back over there to be like, "Okay, how may I help you, sir?" And he's like, "Look, I'm gonna order my own food, but can you please just put the first order on a second bag real quick?" Like, and I tell him, "Okay, what can I get you?" He's like, "Can I just get a burger and just put a fry and a drink in it, and that's it for that one? And then can I just?" And then and I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." So I ring him up for a regular burger, fry and a drink. He wanted the meal, or he ordered the meal for the other guy, and then he orders his family the food. I get that burger, the one that he wanted separate. the whole meal. I put it in a separate bag, and I tell him, "What are you gonna do with it?" Like, here you go. He's like, "No, no, no, it's for that guy. I'm out of here. I'm out of here, please." And he takes his food. He gets ketchup or whatever. He just he straight up just bolts out the door, and I have this burger, fry, and drink, and I hand it to the guy. The guy who has no money. And like I want to say 2 minutes later, I'm starting like to make I'm making a tea urn for like sweet tea, and I just hear this guy say, "Hey, buddy," like in a nice way. I said it kind of mean, but I promise it was like in a gentle way. And I'm like, "Yeah, man, how can I help?" He's like, "That guy bought me a burger, and I wanted it with cheese and nothing else on it, and it has lettuce, tomato, and it has no cheese." And I look at him, and and there were multiple ways I could have told him. I could be like, okay, yeah, let me talk to my manager. But I literally just told him, look, I get it, you're hungry, but I mean, if someone got me free food and I was in your situation, which I don't understand that well, I would just eat the burger. And he looks at me, he's like, "Can you please just tell my friend the manager?" Which, mind you, none of the managers like him. All the managers literally run away because they know if they talk to him, he will go on like a 5 minute spiel on how he really wants free food. So I go to talk to my manager, and I just tell him like, "Hey, look, this is what happened. If I were you, I would just tell him, to eat shit, because he doesn't want the burger. Like, I get it, it's kind of messed up, but also you got the food, dude. You got food in your hand if you're that hungry. Okay, you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. It's like basic, you know, decency." So my manager's like, "Okay, I'll talk to him." And I'm like, "Okay, great." And I listen on the conversation. My manager takes the burger and starts making a new one. And I get it. That's very nice of my manager to do. And I'm not gonna downplay him for just being a nice guy. My manager, that specific manager, is a decently nice guy when he wants to be. And also, you kind of don't. I guess you can't really be too mean in a situation like that because it could be bad press I don't know, but anyway, um, the guy gets his food, he leaves, and that's it. And I mean, I'm not gonna say I was upset, like, oh, he got what he wanted, I'm so mad. I'm just saying, if it was me personally, I would have just told him to get what you get, and to, and to just get it. Because I mean, that wasn't the first time he did that. He's done it multiple times before. I think this is the first time I actually saw the customer visibly mad, and then I saw that customer complain. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so he would come by every few times just to say, to do the exact same thing. But my managers started to catch on, and were like, and started telling him, "Look, you cannot do that. You cannot ask for free food in our lobbies. Either you come in with money or you don't." And he would say, "Okay, I understand." But you would still see him walk up to families, like he would walk up to whole families, that were having their own conversations, and he would like try to join in and stuff, and he would like fist bump the kids that were there, I mean, there can be an argument made. I mean, I found it kind of weird. He was like a 30, 40 something year old man, talking to kids, you could say, but their families were there, I guess. I mean, I don't know if that makes it better. It's still kind of weird. And obviously he was just trying to get free food, so there's that. It's not like he was like actually trying to harm anyone. Again, just trying to get free food. But I always just saw it as weird. And when my managers would see him, they would, trying to ask for free food, they would walk up to him, and every time he saw the managers, he would like start to run away. And I just always found that funny, like, he knew he wasn't supposed to be doing what he was doing, but he still did. And now I really don't see him that often. I remember one of my coworkers said that they used to go to high school with him, or middle school or high school with him, and that he was definitely had some kind of disability, and that kind of made me empathize. No, yeah. No, I was gonna say it was either a disability or he had a lobotomy. It was one of the two. Either way, it's none of my business, and I still obviously empathize. That's probably just his life, and now there's some random asshole talking about it on the internet. Like, what the hell? I hope that guy who's making that YouTube video about him doesn't go to have a good sleep tonight. Oh, I hope he has like a 4-hour shift after he's done editing this video. Anyway, I don't know who that guy is, but he sounds like an asshole. Anyway, next story. The next story is more relatable, I think. I think everyone in fast food has definitely gone through this exact experience at least once. So it was my first week of training, and the guy in the back seat of the car was paying, which I found that kind of weird. But I mean, it's not the first time that has happened. Even for like my second day of training, that happened once before. But I always find it kind of weird when when the guy in the back seat pays. I don't know, like I get it, they can't drive, but either put them in the passenger seat or just take their card from them and pay in the front seat. Because then I have to go to the back seat of your car, and I don't want you to. What are you gonna do? Kidnap me? You gonna throw me in the back of your trunk? I don't know. So I just find it kind of weird. Anyway, I take his order, I give him his drinks, and he's just waiting for his food. So then the guy at in the front seat signals me to come over. So I go to him and I say, "Hey man, how can I help you?" And automatically I look at the guy on the passenger seat because he lifts his shirt up ever so slightly on the right hand side of, oh no, the left hand side of himself, and he says, "Where's my free chocolate shake?" And normally, when people see a gun, their first reaction is to either just submit to whatever the guy wants or to run away and tell somebody. That's like, the first thing you do when you see a guy with a gun. But I didn't process that it was at least I didn't process that it was a real gun. Like, I knew it was a real gun, but I guess in my mind, I didn't really signal a threat. So I just laughed and I'm like, I can't do that, man. I'm sorry. And I go back inside and I genuinely thought it was a joke. And when that guy goes to the front counter, not to the front counter, but he goes to the window and he gets his food, I heard my coworker laugh for a minute. So I asked my coworker, "Oh, what did he do? He pulled a gun at you too?" And then my coworker just looked at me like with like a big amount of concern and just told me like, "What do you mean he pulled a gun out at me?" And I'm like, "Oh, like," and then I processed it and I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And even then, I didn't tell anyone for like another 8 months after that because I didn't really process that it was a bad thing. And when I finally told one of my coworkers, everyone tells me that I've told this to like 5 or 6 coworkers. They all tell me that I should have told someone, but I didn't, and I really don't understand why I didn't. I guess I was just like, I wasn't scared. Like, I guess I was literally just thought it was a joke for like the longest time until like people started saying like, no, he probably was being serious, and you probably just laughed it off, and he got pissed off, which makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. But that was like like a year and a half ago. Like I said, this was like my first week of training. So yeah, and I know the this has been kind of negative, so I'm gonna end it on like a kind of a positive story. So this was like my first long shift. I think I was doing like 8 to 12 hours, and I remember it specifically being like around 10 o'clock. So I had like 2 hours left that I was gonna be there. I was exhausted. I was tired. I was hungry. I was pissed off. I don't think I went on break that night. And I was like taking orders, making drinks, cashing people out. I was the only one on drive-through. And one customer sees that. And as I'm cashing him out, he tells me, "Wait, before you cash me out, do you want anything?" And I thought he was talking to someone on the phone. So I wait, and he's like, "Hello?" And I'm like, "Oh, you talking to me?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Do you want anything?" And I just tell him, like, "What do you mean? Like food?" He's like, "Yeah, do you want me to order you anything?" And I'm like, "I mean, I don't want to take your money, man. Like, it's." He's like, "No, no, no, shut up. Do you want anything to eat?" And I tell him like, "I mean, some chicken strips would be cool right now. I mean, like, I can't." And he just, "Okay, charge me for a chicken strip meal." And I tell him, "Are you sure you want me to do that?" He's like, "Yeah, charge me for a chicken strip meal right now." So I charge him for a chicken strip meal. I give him his bag. He takes out the box and gives it to me. He's like, "Here, this is yours. You can have it. And you have a nice day." He tells me like, just to pass it forward or whatever the saying is. And I tell him, "Thank you so much." And I don't know, that was like the most positive customer experience I think I've ever had personally, especially when most customers, want you to die. Like I said, not even most, like 5%. But that's like just the one that resonates with me the most. And I'm like, that kind of just reminds me not every single human being on the planet is the worst. There's always bad apples in the bunch, but there's also like, just really good people. So I'm just gonna end it there. That was again, I know the title is Customers Are Annoying, and then I have like 2 annoying customer stories, but you get the deal. So that being said, if you did enjoy listening to me talk and complain about my job for 15 minutes straight, then I would recommend to subscribe. Obviously, I'm gonna have to plug stuff and follow my socials because I do just sometimes post stories about me talking. If not, I just repost memes. But I'm gonna end it there. So have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching all the way to the end if you did.